So, I am the Archmage of the Mages Guild. I am a really high rank within the Fighters Guild. I cannot mention in public what I am in the Dark Brotherhood or the Thieves Guild, as I am the champion of Cyrodiil and have a reputation to keep. But yes, I am the champion of Cyrodiil. This title was given to me because of everything I have done to save Tamriel from Mehrunes Dagon's invasion. I am in love with a pretty Nord woman. I own a beautiful home in Coral, and have amassed quite the fortune. I am a hero to all of Tamriel. So with all of this, why would my brother Korok up in High Rock, the Duke of Normar, still not want anything to do with me? Because I tried to avenge the murder of our sister by an oafish Imperial officer and was sentenced to life in prison because of it? I think the fool here is my brother, not me. If I was given the choice to do it all over again, or not to do anything, I would do it all over again. Oh, I'll see my brother Korok again, whether in this life or in Aetherius, so at some point I will confront him, and it might not end very nicely. Though I don't plan to harm him. I will, however, push the point of his idiocy right to his face. Though in truth, as I have been saying, we were never close, and I think he was jealous that I had a close relationship with Bethany, our sister, and he did not. The only thing I envy him for is that he actually knew my mother, and I never met her. I can care less if he had the best relationship with father out of all three of us. I can surmise that I was an embarrassment for Korok when he found out about me being sentenced to a lifetime in prison. So maybe he had some explaining to do to his king in High Rock, or maybe he had to tell his wife and daughters, my nieces, whom I've never met, that I was someone who did something really stupid. Or maybe in his noble social circles he was poked fun at for having me as a brother. Though like father, I don't think Korok ever thought very highly of me. I should have been trained as a warrior like they had. Instead, I get an Altmer tutor and was in the company of my sister an awful lot. So, I can only assume I was seen as not very manly to them. It didn't help that I was a skinny whelp in my teens. I've always wondered what would have happened if my mother hadn't died giving birth to me. Would my father have been set straight by her and I would have been treated better? The line of mages did come from her side, something my father seems to have not quite understood. Ironic in a province that so highly prizes being a mage. I think everything would have been different if she had lived. I might even have ended up living in Skyrim with her relatives, where she came from when my father was killed in battle, and our small kingdom taken from us. Perhaps I would consider myself more Nord today, and Bethany would still be alive and with us as well. So much could have been different. But I cannot live my life and fantasize about what could have been when it comes to my only living family. For now, I am still angry with Korok, and I dare not write a letter or go northwest to Normar to confront him. In the end, I only have a couple of choices. I have to decide when I will see him. In life or in death. It's just a matter of when. Alright.
Look what I have for you. I have completed the Wolfcry armor.
The Wolfcry
I'm sure
armor?
you will love it. And now I am your proper girlfriend.
Is this what we've led up to? Let's talk.
Of course.
How about you and I?
What's on your mind, dear?
I do love you.
Did I ever tell you just how happy I am that we are here together, you and I? It really means the world to me.
Alright. Well, let's relax.
Relax? That sounds nice.
Proper girlfriend. What does that even mean? Oh well. We're doing it at her pace, of course. So, I really want to read this book. The Black Arrow, which I stole. Actually, not that large of a book. What about the second one? Alright. The Black Arrow, Part 1 by Gorgit Gween. I was young when the Duchess of Woda hired me as an assistant footman at her summer palace. My experience with the ways of the titled aristocracy was very limited before that day. There were wealthy merchants, traders, diplomats, and officials who had large operations in Eldenroot and ostentatious palaces for entertaining, but my relatives were all far from those social circles. There was no family business for me to enter when I reached adulthood, but my cousin heard that an estate far from the city required servants. It was so remotely located that there were unlikely to be many applicants for the positions. I walked for 5 days into the jungles of Valenwood before I met a group of riders going my direction. They were 3 Bosmer men, 1 Bosmer woman, 2 Breton women, and a Dunmer man. Adventurers from the look of them. "Are you also going to Moliva?" asked Prolicia, one of the Breton women, after we had made our introductions. "I don't know what that is," I replied. "I'm seeking a domestic position with the Duchess of Woda." "We'll take you to her gate," said the Dummer Misson Akin, pulling me up to his horse, "but you would be wise not to tell her grace that students from Moliva escorted you, not unless you really don't want the position in her service." Akin explained himself as we rode on. Moliva was the closest village to the Duchess's estate, where a great and renowned archer had retired after a long life of military service. His name was Hyomast, and though he was retired, he had begun to accept students who wished to learn the art of the bow. In time, when word spread of the great teacher, more and more students arrived to learn from the master. The Breton women had come down all the way from the western reach of High Rock. Akin himself had journeyed across the continent from his home near the great volcano in Morrowind. He showed me the ebony arrows he had brought with him from his homeland. I had never seen anything so black. "From what we've heard," said Copale, one of the Bosmer men, "the Duchess is an Imperial whose family has been here even before the Empire was formed, so you might think that she was accustomed to the common people of Valenwood. Nothing could be further from the truth. She despises the village, and the school most of all." "I suppose she wants to control all the traffic in her jungle," laughed Prolissa. I accepted the information with gratitude, and found myself dreading more and more my first meeting with the intolerant Duchess. My first sight of the palace through the trees did nothing to assuage my fears. It was nothing like any building I had ever seen in Valenwood. A vast edifice of stone and iron, with a jagged row of battlements like the jaws of a great beast. Most of the trees near the palace had been hewn away long ago. I can only imagine the scandal that must have caused, and what fear the Bosmer peasants must have had of the Duchy of Woda to have allowed it. In their stead was a wide gray-green moat circling in a ring around the palace, so it seemed to be on a perfect, if artificial, island. I had seen such sights in the tapestries from High Rock and the Imperial province, but never in my homeland. "There will be a guard at the gate, so we'll leave you there," said Akin, stopping his horse in the road. "It'd be best for you if you weren't damned by association with us." I thanked my companions and wished them good luck with their schooling. They rode on, and I followed on foot. In a few minutes' time, I was at the front gate, which I noticed was linked to tall and ornate railings to keep the compound secure. When the gatekeeper understood that I was there to inquire about a domestic position, he allowed me past and signaled to another guard across the open lawn to extend the drawbridge and allowed me to cross the moat. There was one last security measure, the front door, an iron monstrosity with the Woda coat of arms across the top, reinforced by more strips of iron, and a single golden keyhole. The man standing guard unlocked the door and gave me passage into the huge, gloomy, gray stone palace. Her Grace greeted me in her drawing room. She was thin and wrinkled, like a reptile, cloaked in a simple red gown. It was obvious that she never smiled. Our interview consisted of a single question. "Do you know anything about being a junior footman in the employment of an imperial noblewoman?" Her voice was like ancient leather. "No, Your Grace." "Good. No servant ever understands what needs to be done, and I particularly dislike those who think they do. You're engaged." Life at the palace was joyless, but the position of junior footman was very undemanding. I had nothing to do on most days except to stay out of the Duchess's sight. At such times, I usually walked 2 miles down the road to Moliva. In some ways, there was nothing special or unusual about the village. There are thousands of identical places in Valenwood. But on the hillside nearby was Master Hyomast's archery academy, and I would often take my luncheon and watch the practice. Prolissa and Akin would sometimes meet me afterwards. With a kin, the subjects of conversation very seldom strayed far from archery, though I was very fond of him. I found Prolissa a more enchanting companion, not only because she was pretty for a Breton. Pretty for a Breton? There's many pretty Bretons. But also because she seemed to have interests outside the realm of marksmanship. There's a circus in High Rock I saw when I was a little girl called the Quill Circus, she said, during one of our walks through the woods. They've been around for as long as anyone can remember. You have to see them if you ever can. They have plays and sideshows, and the most amazing acrobats and archers you've ever seen. That's my dream, to join them someday when I'm good enough. How will you know when you're a good enough archer? I asked. She didn't answer, and when I turned, I realized that she had disappeared. I looked around, bewildered, until I heard laughter from the tree above me. She was perched on a branch, grinning. I may not join as an archer, maybe I'll join as an acrobat, she said, or maybe as both. I figured that Valenwood would be the place to go to see what I could learn. You've got all these great teachers to imitate the trees here, those ape men. She coiled up, bracing her left leg before springing forward on her right. In a second, she had leapt across to a neighboring branch. I found it difficult to keep talking to her. The Imga, you mean? I stammered. Aren't you nervous at that height? It's a cliché, I know, she said, jumping to an even higher branch, but the secret is to not ever look down. Would you mind coming down? I probably should anyhow, she said. She was a good 30 feet up now, balancing herself, arms outstretched on a very narrow branch. She gestured toward the gate, just barely visible on the other side of the road. This tree is actually as close as I want to get to your Duchess's palace. I held back a gasp as she dove off the branch, somersaulting until she landed on the ground, knees slightly bent. That was the trick, she explained, anticipating the blow before it happened. I expressed to her my confidence that she would be a great attraction at the Quill Circus. Of course, I know now that never was to be. On that day, as I recall, I had to return early. It was one of the rare occasions when I had work of a sort to do. Whenever the Duchess had guests, I was to be at the palace. That is not to say that I had any particular duties, except to be seen standing at attention in the dining room. The stewards and maids worked hard to bring in the food and clear the plates afterwards, but the footmen were purely decorative, a formality. But at least I was an audience for the drama to come. Alright, so that's why you don't just get one book. I'm going to read the rest. Black Arrow Part 2 by Gorgic Gwyn. Gorgic? I think it's Gorgic, not Georgic. On the last dinner in my employ at the palace, the Duchess, quite surprisingly, had invited the mayor of Moliva and Master Hyamast himself among her other guests. The servants' gossip was manic. The mayor had been there before, albeit very irregularly, but Hyamast's presence was unthinkable. What could she mean by such a conciliatory gesture? The dinner itself progressed along with perfect, if slightly cool, civility among all parties. Hyamast and the Duchess were both very quiet. The mayor tried to engage the group in a discussion of the Emperor Pelagius IV's new son and her heir Uriel, but it failed to spark much interest. Lady Villia, elderly but much more vivacious than her sister, the Duchess, led most of the talk about crime and scandal in Eldenroot. I've been encouraging her to move out to the country, away from all that unpleasantness for years now, the Duchess said, meeting the eyes of the mayor. We've been discussing more recently the possibility of her building a palace on Moliva Hill, but there's so little space, as you know. Fortunately, they've come to a discovery. There is a wide field just a few days west on the edge of the river, ideally suited. Sounds perfect, the mayor smiled, and turned to Lady Villia. When will your ladyship begin building? The very day you move your village to the site, replied the Duchess of Woda. Wow. The mayor turned to her to see if she was joking. She obviously was not. Think of how much more commerce you could bring to your village if you were close to the river, said Lady Villia jovially, and Master Hyamast's students could have easier access to his fine school. Everyone would benefit. I know it would put my sister's heart to ease if there was less trespassing and poaching on her lands. There is no poaching or trespassing on your lands now, your grace, frowned Hyamast. You do not own the jungle, nor will you. The villagers may be persuaded to leave. That I don't know, but my school will stay where it is. She might poison him. The dinner party never really recovered happily. Hyomest and the mayor excused themselves, and my services, such as they were not needed in the drawing room where the group went to have their drinks. There was no laughter to be heard through the walls that evening. The next day, even though there was a dinner planned for the evening, I left on my usual walk to Moliva. Before I had even reached the drawbridge, the guard held me back. "Where are you going, Gorgic? Not to the village, are you?" "Why not?" He pointed to the plume of smoke in the distance. "A fire broke out very early this morning, and it's still going. Apparently it started at Master Hyomast's school. It looks like the work of some traveling brigands." "Blessed Standar," I cried. "Are the students alive?" "No one knows, but it'd be a miracle if any survived. It was late, and most everyone was sleeping. I know they've already found the master's body, or what was left of it, and they also found that girl, your friend, Polissa." I spent the day in a state of shock. It seemed inconceivable what my instinct told me, that the two noble old ladies, Lady Villia and Duchess of Woda, had arranged for a village and school that irritated them to be reduced to ashes. At dinner, they mentioned the fire in Moliva only very briefly, as if it were not news at all. But I did see the Duchess smile for the first time ever. It was a smile I will never forget until the day I die. The next morning, I had resolved to go to the village and see if I could be of any assistance to the survivors. I was passing through the servants' hall to the grand foyer when I heard the sound of a group of people ahead. The guards and most of the servants were there, pointing at the portrait of the Duchess that hung in the center of the hall. There was a single black bolt of ebony piercing the painting, right at the Duchess's heart. I recognized it at once. It was one of Misson Akin's arrows. I had seen in his quiver, forged, he said, in the bowels of Dagoth-Ur itself. My first reaction was relief. The Dunmer, who had been kind enough to give me a ride to the palace, had survived the fire. My second reaction was echoed by all present in the hall. How had the vandal gotten past the guards, the gate, the moat, and the massive iron door? The Duchess, arriving shortly after I, was clearly furious, though she was too well bred to show it but by raising her web-thinned eyebrows. She wasted no time in assigning all her servants to new duties to keep the palace grounds guarded at all times. We were given regular shifts and precise, narrow patrols. The next morning, despite all precautions, there was another black arrow piercing the Duchess's portrait. So it continued for a week's time. The Duchess saw to it that at least one person was always present in the foyer, but somehow the arrow always found its way to her painting whenever the guards' eyes were momentarily averted. A complex series of signals were devised, so each patrol could report back any sounds or disturbances they encountered during their vigil. At first, the Duchess arranged them so her castellan would receive record of any disturbances during the day, and the chief of the guard during the night. But when she found that she could not sleep, she made certain that the information came to her directly. The atmosphere in the palace had shifted from gloomy to nightmarish. A snake would slither across the moat, and suddenly her grace would be tearing through the east wing to investigate. A strong gust of wind ruffling the leaves on one of the few trees in the lawn was a similar emergency. An unfortunate lone traveler on the road in front of the palace, a completely innocent man as it turned out, brought such a violent reaction that he must have thought that he had stumbled on a war. In a way, he had. And every morning there was a new arrow in the front hall mocking her. I was given the terrible assignment of guarding the portrait for a few hours in the early morning. Not wanting to be the one to discover the arrow, I seated myself in a chair opposite, never letting my eyes move away for even a second. I don't know if you've had the experience of watching one object relentlessly, but it has a strange effect. All other senses vanish. That was why I was particularly startled when the Duchess rushed into the room, blurring the gulf for me between her portrait and herself. "There's something moving behind the tree across the road from the gate," she roared, pushing me aside and fumbling with her key in the gold lock. She was shaking with madness and excitement, and the key did not seem to want to go in. I reached out to help her, but the Duchess was already kneeling, her eye to the keyhole, to be certain that the key went through. It was precisely in that second that the arrow arrived, but this one never made it as far as the portrait. I actually met Misson Akin years later, but I was in Morrowind to entertain some nobles. He was impressed that I had risen from being a humble domestic servant to being a bard of some renown. He himself had returned to the Ashlands, and like his old master Hyomest, was retired to the simple life of teaching and hunting. I told him that I had heard that Lady Villia had decided not to leave the city, and that the village of Moldiva had been rebuilt. He was happy to hear that, but I could not find a way to ask him what I really wanted to know. I felt like a fool just wondering if what I thought were true, that he had been behind Prolissa's tree behind the road from the gate every morning that summer, firing an arrow through the gate, across the lawn, across the moat, through a keyhole, and into a portrait of the Duchess of Woda until he struck the Duchess herself. It was clearly an impossibility. I chose not to ask. As we left one another that day, and he was waving goodbye, he said, "I am pleased to see you doing so well, my friend. I am happy you moved that chair." He might have fired even so. So he was able to see through the keyhole, all across the moat and the walls and from the tree. But it's just a story. An entertaining story, at least.
Dirt. Everywhere dirt.
But you know what? I'm not sure if I've read that book before. I was thinking of a different book, one that was involving a Daedra. Very nasty Daedra. That there was some hero that never missed with his arrow, with his archery. Yes.
This
and
place is a mess.
that is the book I thought it was, but I guess it's
ought to
not.
clean it up instead of running around playing heroes.
I'm a hero.
You wanted to talk to me?
I'm not a servant. I'm a hero. Let's go. Oh, let's travel together.
Yeah.
Equip your armor, please.
Alright.
Alright. Alright, where do we go now? Well, I should actually get dressed before I run off. With Vilya staring at me. Well, I've done it before. I mean, I'm not showing my private parts. It's one more assassination, right? Well, let's put on what I need. Oh, the wolf cry. Well, you know what? It's light armor. I'm sure she wants to see me wear it. That's what it looks like, huh? Okay, then. Going after another target. What do you think, Vilya?
Yes, dear?
How do I look? Let's just talk.
Of course. Is there anything in particular that you would like to discuss?
Okay. You and I.
What?
So, what do you think of our companionship?
I wish you would be more careful when you are fighting. If you're not concerned over your own life, think of me having to face the enemies alone.
Never thought of that before. Goodbye.
Anytime.
Let's go. Something to think about. Now, what was the orders from the dead drop? Okay, well, a proper boyfriend-girlfriend, according to old Solstheim traditions, but she hasn't said anything else. Okay, Breville. Between 5 p.m. and 1 a.m.
I think she thinks they
It's earlier in the day, though.
understand.
Well, you can always go over there. You know what? Since I'm here in Coral,
Oh. Hello.
I have something else that I can do. Sorry. Where is it? Modryn Oren from the Fighters Guild.
Heard any news from the other provinces?
Nothing I'd like to talk about.
Good day.
Good day.
Someone to travel
Well met.
Boston.
Well,
Which one was his home? I think it's this one.
let
Modryn.
me handle this.
I like you quite a lot.
Oh, thank you, Vilya.
Greetings, champion. I'm at your service.
Handle what? The rats in here? It's kind of nasty. What can you tell me about the Blackwood Company? How are they
To bring
faring?
them down, I need more information. My sources tell me they're trying to expand, and they've set up camp in Glade Mist Cave. I want you to go there and capture Ajum-Kajin, one of their leaders. Bring him back to me. I'd like to spend some time talking to him.
How do I... Okay. Tell me about this Ajum-Kajin.
He's the one in charge of this expansion. I know he's a high-ranking member of the group. An Argonian mage, from what I hear.
Okay.
Go get him!
We have to capture an Argonian mage. Where was this place? Glademist Cave. Well, you would think it would be somewhere in the southeast, where their headquarters is, but he did say expansion, so... which could be anywhere. And I'm not seeing it. Oh, it's actually pretty close. Well... yeah, I guess we should go there. Let's go see about capturing this mage. I don't think my horse will be here, though. Ugh, another cat. Why? Fergus! It's like I know where he's been. Well, that's not exactly true, because I've seen guards killing cats. As I said, there was a lot of rabies running around. Oh, my horse is not here. Well, this place is nearby. This is a very beautiful area of the Great Forest, so we'll go to Glademist Cave on foot. Wayne Priory, where, well, after I left the prison, it all really began. Rats are very brazen walking out in the open. I could actually walk through the woods, too, to get right through it. It's earlier in the day, why not? Quite the hill, though. Oh, yeah. It does remind me of home. The hills, the mountains, the trees, the forests. It's a little warmer down here.
Do you think we should tell Fergus that he's snoring?
Oh. Looks like an Oblivion Gate was there. I don't really care what if you tell Fergus whatever. That irritates me. The wood creak in the wood, the wind. Look, I'm moving very fast in this armor. Oh, the rain. Rain started. Some ruin. So many ruins. As far as I know, there's hundreds of them just in Cyrodiil. Iliad ruins. I don't mind a little rain, but this is like a torrential downpour. It's a storm. I think it's close by. Oh, it's a Minotaur. Oh, look at those clouds go. Is it here?
So this is the Glademist Cave. Now, let's see if we can find that Blackwood Company leader. What was his name now again?
Oh, he had a funny name, Ophelia. I just barely hear you over the storm. Ajum-Kajin.
Never mind.
It's Argonian. Oh, I thought there was a tripwire there.
I don't find goblins very scary compared to some of the creatures I have seen in Solstheim.
Shh, shh. Is he fighting someone? Well, it's an Argonian, but I don't know if it's the Argonian I want.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
Ah,
Am I supposed to be impressed? I banish you! Down and bleed to death!
Good as dead.
Annealed Curse. I don't even know what annealed means. Blackwood Shield, huh? Boots of the Storm. Gauntlets of Brutality. Oh, there's a little door here. Oh, this is some bright mist. Wolfgang, you keep giving us away. Oh. Oh. Vilya. Sounds like maybe an Argonian ahead.
Why won't you die? You're pathetic.
Grand Soul Gem.
Why won't you die? Die.
Keep going.
Am I supposed to be?
It obviously is not the way. We need to go up. Find some path that leads up. The tunnel behind the Argonian when we first came in. I think it's this way. Should lead us where we want to go. Yep, up. Chests all over the place.
Do you know of any cure for vampirism?
Yeah, we've been over that. We've gone through it.
This is the part where you fall down.
Oh, there's another Argonian.
You pathetic worm. What's the matter? Getting tired?
Doesn't see me. One of them fall down. Oh, I can't tell. Which one's Vilya? Neither.
This ends here. Am I supposed to be impressed?
Stupid data. Oh, there's Vilya. She
Do
got
your
him.
worst. I'm just warming up, you pathetic worm. You're pathetic.
Where is it? Where'd it go?
This is the part where you fall down and bleed to death.
There he is.
Die, damn
Oops. Didn't mean to do that.
you. Do your worst. Do your worst.
A little low on Magicka. Okay. Which means I should be taking some of the potions that save up. Dressed like a Nord.
This is the part where you fall down and bleed to death.
Ah!
Let's get this over with. You're pathetic.
I need a lot more magic. Should help.
You will be so...
Oh, you got him, Villian.
You will be so dead.
Stand still. Got him. Hey, now you gotta make your way up here. Lightning run boots? Was this one? That's the one that fell down. There's this one I killed here. Bow of the Infernal. Magnifying gauntlets? Don't really see very much here. No one's here. 87 gold. Poisoned. Shock damage. Still doesn't do enough.
Let's get this over.
There's more than one in here.
You pathetic worm! You're supposed to be impatient! On your belly, naked.
Sure, Dagoth, or not Dagoth. The old Dunmer boogeyman. Who's this?
Yeah!
Lilia, little help.
Die!
Nice paralysis. Yeah, so Maroon's Dagon takes these souls, but what do I get out of it? I guess it kills them instantly. Well, it helps, but in many cases it's far into the fight and they're almost dead anyway, so it really doesn't help that much. When it has to kill them is when I go for the backstab. Well, that would be nice. Oh, who was this? Strange. Guess we're just killing a lot of Blackwood company. So, behind me. This way? What's in here? Really see. Let's go. Nothing there. Relying on her torch more than
I
anything.
don't find goblins very scary compared to some of the creatures I have seen in Solstheim.
I've never been there. Is it very different from what's in the rest of Skyrim? Wow. Really stocked up. Look at all this. Usually see that. Well, okay. Let's move on. Well, I'm supposed to capture him, so I shouldn't go in for a backstab. Hey!
What do you want? Get away from me.
You're coming with me.
Fine, fine. I'll come with you. My guards are dead. You win for now.
Teach you to mess with the fighters. Oh, I don't really care. Is there anything of loot in here? Anything to loot? Grand Soul Gem. Let's go. I better follow. Villia's gonna be behind me, watching you every step of the way. Follow my lead. And sharp left. This is... Oh, we need to go right. Which is right back to where we came from, and that's not the way. I'm pretty sure we came in this way. Yeah. Across this little chasm. Now we go straight and then turn right.
I don't like creature caverns. Far too much work for not much profit.
Where's Wolfgang? That was him for a moment. He came in here with us. Well, he'll find his way to us. He always does. There he is. Here's the
There's
sense.
something I'd like to talk to you about.
Oh?
Have you got a minute?
Tell me your thoughts.
I don't think it should be murder to accidentally kill another adventurer in a cave. After all, we all know the risks.
I'm not sure what you're implying,
Anytime.
though. Okay, let's go. We're on foot. Going back to Coral. Through this miserable weather. Well, let's start. Let's get going. I'm actually very interested to know what Modryn Oren can get out of it. Better not run. Wolfgang will definitely track him down. Oh! Hey! I really should charge my... You know what? Are all my... my outfit is damaged. I'll have to repair it. I've got a lot of repair hammers now. Wow. Okay. I have 1 grand soul gem. Soul trap.
Leave him alone!
See what will happen to you if you try to escape. I just want to get out of the rain. Okay, let's get back to Coral, back to home. The storm hasn't let up, and I'm completely drenched and cold. Not so bad if it's during the summer, a little warmer. I'm really cold. I'm walking for hours. Oh, is it letting up now?
You look skilled in alteration.
Okay, so...
If you want to learn more about alchemy, you have to bring some here. That's fine. I want to learn more alchemy too.
Alright, you're here? Let's go in. Let's see what Modryn can get out of
We're
here.
making progress.
Well, you should thank us for killing your rats.
You've got him. Let's talk about Ajum-Kajin.
Okay, let's talk about him.
You've brought him back. Good. I want to know the size of their forces and who is leading them. I also want to know the source of their strength. Do what you must to make him talk.
Size of the
If
forces...
you can smooth talk him, fine. If you need to wrap him up, so be it.
Source of
But
their
don't
strength.
kill him. We need him to talk.
Why are you having
Now,
me do this? I
go
thought
tell
you
him to
would do
sit
it.
down. If he tries to get up, I'll kill him myself.
Why can't you do this? Hey, I did all the work, and all you do is stand there and watch. And tell me what to do. Alright, Ajum-Kajin.
What do you want? Is it time for torture? Ha! Do your worst.
Maybe I should go don my mask of Clavicus Vile for this. Sit down, now.
Fine. You don't scare me, beat me, torture me. I'll never talk to you.
Well, I don't have anything that helps with personality. Enhance my personality. It's not really the type of adventurer I am. But I can make it myself. Well, I don't want to change in front of him. I don't think that I have anything. I thought maybe I did at one point. I could charm him. It's a low-level spell. It appears Ajum-Kajin may be ready to give me information already. Alright, talk.
Perhaps you do understand. Perhaps I can help you a little.
How large is the Blackwood Company?
We are over 100 strong now. We grow by the day.
Tell me the secret to your strength.
Never. I would rather die. I will tell you nothing.
Interesting. Who leads the Blackwood Company?
No. I will not betray him. I will not tell you. You will pay for this.
Modryn?
Work on him until he talks. Try not to kill him.
Work on him, huh?
Make him sing.
I won't talk to you. Never. Do your worst. Take your time.
Alright, well, let's see if we can't make him like me a little bit more.
That's amazing. You've got a point. Don't. That's just not funny. You will not. You think. I salute you.
I haven't had to try to do this for a while.
Don't waste your. You think. You've got a point. What? You think. That's a. You've got a point.
How about I'll bribe him if I have no other choice.
You will pay for this. I won't talk to you. Never. Do your worst.
Okay.
You will pay for this.
Maybe I do need to rough him up then. Not really good at bare hands, though. You gonna talk? Use you as target practice. Ugh, his skin is really rough.
I won't talk to you. Never. Do your worst. Make it quick. You will pay for this.
Come on. I don't think I'm really hurting him very much.
I won't talk to you. Never. Do your worst.
Rough him up.
You will pay for this.
What if I use my Mace of Molag Ball?
Yes.
You want this? Talk. Does that hurt?
I won't talk to you. What?
He really doesn't like me now.
You will pay for it.
Well, looks like he's ready to tell me more. I should question him. Alright, putting the mace away. You better talk.
Stop, please. What is it? What more do you want?
Who leads the Blackwood Company?
Forgive me, my master. It is Rizikar. He leads us, and he will have your head. He will kill you all.
Rizikar. I don't know what name that race that would be. Tell me the secret of your strength.
Nothing more. I chose death. Long live the Blackwood Company.
I didn't get that out of him. Rather than divulge the Blackwood Company's secret, Ajum-Kajin has killed himself. I should speak with Oren for further instruction.
Damn! Killed himself. Must have had some sort of magic item we didn't notice.
Alright, so what do we do about him now?
You got some information out of him, which is good. We can use it. Here, take this. It might help you sometime.
Amulet of Interrogation, huh? So, what duties do you have for me?
While the information we got from the Argonian was valuable, we need more. I want you to infiltrate them. See how they work from the inside.
Infiltrate them?
I want you to get to Leowen and join the Blackwood Company. Find the secret of their success. You'll be on your own. Steer clear of me and all of your Fighters Guild brothers. It'll be rough going, but you can do it.
Okay. Goodbye.
Good luck.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.